This video is an introduction to the Securely Device console. We're going to see how you schedule and start a class session in the console. And once that class session is running, you can push websites to your students' Chromebooks, and you can lock them on a particular website. You can also block websites. So we're going to see how you do that. And also you can save the links that you will use in doing those things. We're going to see how you save those links, and we'll look at some other capabilities in the console. So go to securely.com, and then if you hover over login and click device console, and this takes you to the login page. You can bookmark this page so you can go straight to it, of course. So click sign in with Google, and that's all you need to do to sign in. So when you get there, you need to choose the location. And so this is the drop down, and you choose the one that says Sullivan High School. So once we choose that, it shows your classes that you have available. They are in this drop down. And it takes you to the teacher tools, which is where you'll do most of the things that you do. So here's the drop down where I choose which class I want to work with. And it's got my classes there. I'm using this test class, which is just a fake class. So before we look at what we can do there, though, I want to go to classes. And this is where we can schedule the classes to start automatically. You have to choose Canvas Classes tab, and then your classes are listed. And over to the right, there's this scheduled column, and that's where I can click the minus sign, and I can schedule this class to start automatically. It brings us to the Students tab, and it lists the students in the class. We want to click Class Details tab, and then we can tell it to automatically start on these days. We can put days and the time and the duration, and the class will automatically start at those times. We have these options. One of the most important ones is enforce block list. It's now set to none, but I have a drop down, and I can choose one of these block lists that I have created already. And we'll see in a couple minutes how to do that. So let's say I choose the movie block list. I have some other options here. I could choose, I click save, and now that schedule is saved, and the class will automatically start at those times. But be aware, if we don't have school on a particular day, the class will still start if you have it set to automatically start. And if you are enforcing block lists, those block lists will be enforced whether we have school or not. So let's say I decide, oh, I don't know if I really want to do that. So I can go to click this in the scheduled column, and in class details, I can just take all those off, uncheck the automatic, say save. Now it's not scheduled anymore. Okay, so that's how you schedule classes if you want to. Also, if there's a 2-hour delay, you would have to change it or turn off the automatic start and just do it manually. So let's go back to Teacher Tools and see how we start the class manually. And it gives the instructions right here. Choose a class from the selection box, and there's all my classes. I'm going to stay with this one. Deselect any students who are absent. So let's say he's absent, and then click Start Class button. And then we need to put in the length of time, or we could put the end time in there. but I put in 45 minutes. Again, at this point, I can enforce a block list. It's set on the movie block list. I could change it to a different list that I've prepared, or I could change it to none. Let's say I'll go ahead and leave it on movie. Has some other options here. I click start. Now the class is going. If this were a real class and they had their computers turned on, I would be able to see the screens, a little thumbnail of each student's screen down here. There's another view which would give me a list of tabs they have open, I think. It doesn't show that for this class because it's just a fake class. So let's look at the things we can do. The screen lock. Anytime while the class is in session, I just click screen lock. Do you want to apply it to all devices? Yes. And this puts a message on their screen and locks up their computer, so they cannot use the computer at all. There's the message. I could change that if I wish to. I click screen lock and it's done. And you would be able to see that on their computers that it's locked. I believe it shows up down here. So let's say it's time to release them. So I click release. Do you want to release all devices? Yes. Okay, so the next one is site lock, and this is what you could use if you want to keep them in Canvas while they're taking a quiz so they can't surf the internet and look for translations of Spanish words and so on. So you click site lock. Do you want it to apply it to all devices? If you say no, it lets you specify which devices. Well, we're just going to say yes. And it takes us to the links that I have saved already. So we'll show you soon how you do that, how you create this list of links. But I've already done these. This box is checked, so it's only showing my web links. If I uncheck that, it would show all the links from everyone in the corporation, and then I could use the search box to search those. Most of the time, I think you'll just keep that checked. It shows you the links that you have created. So let's say I want to keep them in Canvas. That's what I want to lock them into. So I just check that. Down here, allow entire site is checked, and that will let them navigate throughout the Canvas website, but it won't let them go to other websites. So I click site lock. It says operation completed, and they are now locked. They can go to Canvas, find the quiz, and take the quiz. And they will do this without using the Lockdown browser. In fact, if you have the quiz set up to use Lockdown browser, this actually won't work because you lock them into Canvas, and then Canvas tries to send them to the Lockdown browser, and it can't do that. So if you're going to use this way of doing it, set the quiz up with and don't specify Lockdown browser at all. Just set the quiz up in Canvas and then lock them into Canvas as we just did. So when you want to release them, click release. Want to apply release to all devices? Yes. And that will release them. The next is the push URL. This pushes a URL to their Chromebook, but it does not lock them on that website. So it works similarly. You click it and then say, yes, we want to push it to all devices. Say I want to send them to chess.com. We're going to play a little chess. And then check that and click push URL, and that will push that. It will not lock them on that website, though. Announce lets you send an announcement to their screen. Share screen lets you share your screen. Let's see, I can click that. Do you want to start it? Yes. And then it gives the option to lock them into it, and also an option to broadcast audio. That will play that on all of their computers, which you usually don't want to do. But perhaps you could, if you don't have speakers in the room or speakers aren't working, this might be a way to just send the audio to every student. And hopefully if it's really, really together at the same time and not out of sync, it would sound okay. Have not tried that. So let's say we want to lock them into that session. And you could do this if your projector's not working. You could probably lock them into the screen sharing session and send a PowerPoint to everybody's screen. So we say continue. We want to, let's say we want to do a Chrome tab, and we can do this Google Slides. Let's see. Yeah, the same Google slide I used to introduce this. So I'm doing a Chrome tab instead of entire screen in this example. I'm going to say share, and there it is. And so if I had an entire slideshow here, I could go through the slideshow. When I'm done, click stop sharing. And it says it is now has been canceled. The teacher stopped the share screen. Now from this teacher tool screen, some of the things we can do are things that I can't show you right now because this is not a real class. We can, for example, chat with a particular student. There's a chat button that would be available. You can also see the history for any particular Chromebook, things that they have, websites they've gone to during that class session. So let's go on now and look at how you save those links. So to do that, we have to get to the web links icon, and it's kind of hidden. It's up here in the organization drop down. So expand that, and there it is, web links. So we'll go there. These are the web links I've already saved. So if I want to create a new one, let's say I want to create a web link for the Bing website. Just go to bing.com, the search engine. And I don't really want all that probably. So just copy and paste. Command C to copy is how I do it, and paste it in here for URL. Now I think it's easier to copy the entire URL, erase this part that they have pre-populated in there. That can be helpful if you're typing it in, but you're not typing it in, you're just copying. So erase that, Command V to paste in what you want. And so I can give it a name and save. So that's all there is to it. Just copy that URL and paste it in, and now I have that in my list of web links. So that will come up as an option whenever I want to do anything, to do a site lock where I'm locking their computers on a website, or push URL. This Bing that I just put on there will be an option because I put it in my web links. So that's all there is to it, to adding to your list of web links. There's more you can do. I have this collection, it's called My Links, and it's a folder that you can put some links in if you want to organize them. The other thing we have here is the block lists. So we click this tab, and these are the 3 block lists that I have. I can create another block list with just create, give it a name, another block list, save it, and now I can add websites to that one, which I won't do right now. I just wanted to show you how to create one. I can click up here to go back to all of my block lists. And let's say I want to add something to my movie block list. Actually, I'll add something to my default block list. So I have these 3 things. Let's say I also want to block Musician's Friend website. Oh, I thought I had that up here. Yeah, I don't. I have to navigate to that. Well, my students have been shopping for musical instruments too much, so I'll just copy that. And I'm on the default block list, so I just click Add. Another URL, I paste in Musician's Friend and save. And now that is on my default block list. So that's all there is to that. So I can delete these as well. Maybe I think, I don't care if they shop for musical instruments. Just check that, click delete. It's gone. Cool Math Games is the one I really don't want them going to. So bring that up. And you can copy that URL. And I'll add, paste it in, save it. And now that is on my default block list. So that shows that current block list. Here it is, default block list. I can click to navigate back to all my block lists. There they are. And again, these show up as the choices if I'm going to enforce a block list for that class session. I will have these choices. So let's go back to Teacher Tools. I want to show you one more thing. There's this switch to Nucleus UI up here. It's a better user interface. So it's still in beta. It may not have all the capabilities, but you can try it. See, everything's bigger, easier to see. And for example, web links is right here. You don't have to find it by clicking that organization drop down. So you can try this one. The navigation is somewhat different, and hopefully it's easier. So I'm going to go back to the classic UI. And when I went back to classic UI, I actually had to choose this again, the Sullivan High School. I paused the video and I did that to get it back where it looks like when you go to Sullivan High School. So I didn't cover all of the capabilities, but tried to get most of the more important things, and you can check it out and see what else you can do with it. And let me know if you have any questions.